Yo, what is up, everybody? We're going to be continuing with more of Jim Carrey's catalog. We're going to be ending things off with a film I have no idea about, except for the beginning title that I have right in front of me, and that is the film The Number 23. This is going to be more so, I believe, a psychological thriller with Jim Carrey, which is always great. As I mean, we just rewatched The Truman Show, and I would classify that as a psychological thriller. And it's great to see Jim Carrey in these roles, whether that is a psychological thriller or a comedy or an action comedy or, many other things that we've watched throughout our time looking and studying Jim Carrey and a lot of these films. But we're going to be ending things off with Jim Carrey. I know there's other films, but, I really want to get to other people as well, too. But we're going to be ending things off with The Number 23. This one is apparently about a man who becomes a little crazy by the fact that he's haunted by the book that he's reading, and it happens to be about his own life. That sounds pretty damn interesting. So I'm very excited to see where that premise takes us, and what ride we're going to be on when it comes to, just the premise of it alone and how Jim Carrey can kind of throw himself within this role. Whether it works or not, we're going to find out. But for future, actors, actresses, things that I'm going to be going down, I think the next one I'm going to be doing is Ben Stiller. So, I'm very, very interested in going into his catalog. If you guys want any of the films that he's been in or directed, please comment below. Let me know. I'm curious to see what type of films we'll be able to dive in with that person. But we're going to be finishing things off with Jim Carrey. As always, guys, if you want to be able to watch and hear all that I have to say, the best way to do so is by supporting the Patreon. It is the best way to support this channel. You can also support by making sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. And at the end of the day, just know you don't have to do any of those things. Just sit back, relax, and enjoy your popcorn and snacks as we hop into the film, The Number 23. Play. As always, if you guys want to be able to watch and hear all that I have to say about this film, maybe check it out without the watermark and all of that good stuff, then by all means, head over to the Patreon where you can see the uncut. You can sync up your copy of the film with mine, and you'll be good to go. Again, the premise of this is a man who begins to get a little worried about the fact that he's reading a book that is very much related to him. Almost as if he's reading his own life. Low-key got some Mirror's Edge soundtracks going on. All right. 23. All right, that was a cool little intro. But let's get into the real world.
Things didn't really start here.
December 23rd, 23. By the end of it, I'm going to see 23 everywhere.
What if I had said screw the cake?
Single tonight, Walter?
Not actually, no.
So something pivotal. Pivotal? What? What word is that?
The bitch's room.
Sybil.
What if I had been a bit...
Something about that cake, huh? But what if?
There was a dog who lived a life of terror. He feared no one. But although his teeth were sharp...
You would not catch me doing this. Not even if it was my job.
We came upon a wooden shack one day with a thin old man inside. And he invited him in.
The dog's like, what the hell are you talking about, man? What are you saying to me? The dog looks like Stanley from The Office. The way you just got outplayed by a whole dog is crazy, man.
Didn't like my story, huh? That's all right.
You definitely gotta go get some antibiotics now. Whole day is just ruined. Some of these shots are really well compositioned, composed. Don't you pick up that book. Get away from that book, woman.
All the characters in this book are fictitious, and anyone finding a resemblance to actual persons, living or dead, should proceed no further.
Excuse me? That's such a horrific thing to just say in general. Wow.
Love birthday sticks.
I low-key wish more books kind of leaned into that type of lore.
You know what?
What?
Let's sit out here for a while.
Oh, honey.
I mean, it might create mass paranoia within the world, but I don't know, storytelling would go off, right?
The way they were supposed to be, they wouldn't hear any voices.
Okay.
Oh, Dad, I forgot to give you this.
Shout out to the pops for looking out for his son. That was a clutch move right there.
All right. Good night, Dad. Happy birthday.
Thanks.
He's like, all right, Dad, all right.
Chapter 1. You can call me Fingerling.
This is actually one of the more rare cases where I do appreciate the narrator, because it actually makes sense.
This is your first bite?
First animal one, yes.
That's funny. That's funny.
Choose the color for the living room walls, you know? Not that women are lower intelligence, just...
Yeah, man. Stop cooking. Quit the cook.
What color did your wife choose for the walls?
Red. Blood red.
Yeah, it is one hell of a color, I'll tell you that. Matches perfectly with the book, doesn't it?
Education was my best shot at getting out. See, the stork dropped me in a small dust bowl of a town. There wasn't anything wrong with it, as far as boring towns go.
Yeah, I'm excited to see where this goes. I like the idea of a book influencing the story or character. We've seen that with something called Madness.
No one ever left.
Something Madness. I forgot what it was called, but it was like a really good book, low-key about Cthulhu. And then you have the Yellow King,
Sad. Numbers were...
where you're influenced by
And I guess he expected...
the stories that are told within that book. I just like that idea. It's cool that we're getting a little bit of that here.
That's why he was always in our yard, and it was my job to catch him. But I never crossed the fence.
Yeah, right? It's like you're wondering, is this something I've lived, or is this just by chance, or am I just making it up as it goes on? You're never too sure. Damn.
Widow Dawkins was dead.
Imagine just following a dog, exploring your neighbor's place, and you arrive to a crime scene.
This Fingerling guy reminds me of my life. It's so weird. It's like my childhood, my memories, you know?
Will you hand me that book?
What if it's not your memories? What if your memories are being swapped by literature? The powers that be within the book.
Fingerling at the zoo. My mother read it to me when I was a kid.
It's almost as if the book is reading you.
Got a big plan, this mindset, maybe it's right at the right.
I gotta say, I like when we cut to these moments that are fictional. I like the creative look that kind of comes with it. It's like similar to how Sin City, I believe that film is. Not to say that these are exactly the same, but, it's a cool way to give your film some style. Especially an excuse to give some style. Outside of the original narrative, that is. I'm kind of liking this look on Jim Carrey as well, too, yo.
This befriend me crap, it won't work. Come any closer and I'll do it.
Proceeds to get closer.
A good shot.
Is it really your birthday?
Man's over here flirting with a girl that's ready to end it all. Jesus. What type of category of Riz is that?
He said Daddy loves you. He's gonna do something to guarantee that you don't
inherit the curse.
Oh, word. All right. What part of the equation is that?
Red, 27. White, 65. 65 is 27. 92. Pink has 4 letters. 92 divided by 4. 20 fucking 3!
Oh my God, this woman is crazy.
She has a face meant to smile. And as I exit the building, I figure it's another job well done.
Oh my goodness, bruh. Damn, she did anyway.
Pure Fabrizia. Death and sex. What a turn on. As the pages fell from...
Yeah, I can see why your wife is like, yeah, that ain't you, buddy. That is not you. The feeling of death does not get you turned on. At least that's what we know so far.
Walter.
51197. Isn't that amazing?
What?
It's all 23. My birthday.
Imagine you come back home from work and your dad or your husband is over here writing numbers and equations on the wall because of a book you gave him.
Is 1 plus 8, which equals 9, and 9 plus 14 is also 23. 14 is 1 plus 4, which equals 5, and 5 plus 18 is 23 too.
I'm gonna need some really damning evidence that this is happening, because you guys are routing ways to make something 23 rather than it just being 23. But I'm sure that's gonna change as this film goes on.
But I started having terrible nightmares.
Oh my God. Oh man, that was cool. I like how that was shot. That's cool. Showcasing the influences that could be his or may not be his. Murder on My Mind. Yeah, it's a little concerning. It's a little concerning. I would definitely ask questions about that for sure.
After all, the world spins on an axis of 23 degrees. When you tell them it's actually 23.5, they say 5 is simply 2 plus 3.
That was my argument. That was my argument, okay? You can find a lot of routes to justify your, I guess you're crazy.
Easy.
God?
2 divided by 3, 0.666.
I mean, it could just be like messing with your neurosynapses, if that makes any logical sense, right? Imagine just like your brain being unable to control the endpoint to a thought. It always arrives at justifying 23. Might not go there, but that's a pretty interesting take on it.
If it be you, then whoever wrote it knows you very well, and only they can give you your answer. It's a good idea. And in the meantime, I can speak to Agatha if you like.
No. Nope. You can back off, my friend. You can back off. You're not even my friend.
My time is gonna heal me.
Time is a gentleman.
Time is just a counting system.
I like how they got this setup going on. The background's moving, but the seat and their table are still. What did the closet do to you, man? What did the closet do to you, man? What the hell? Man, it was like, I had enough, god damn it!
In the meantime, I can speak to Agatha if you like.
Yeah, it would be cool if like this book is, you know, the same way that he's come to conclusion on how 23 is, it starts making him do things that he otherwise wouldn't. Because he's just coming to these conclusions without a sound mind. Hey, yo, what did you get up to? What on earth did you do, fam? You stab your wife 23 times? Oh, wow, you did. Oh, my God. Oh, my goodness, yo.
It's gonna be all right.
Go
part of me almost wishes that was actually happening. Damn it. Ah, man, that would have been good. That would have been some good stuff right there. Because what would the story be after that, right? You know what I'm saying?
Your loving, dog-catching husband, Walter.
Damn, I thought it would have been really cool if they took that route. Because that would have just thrusted us into such a forward momentum that I think this film would have, you know, has the script for. Man has a house that he's paying bills for, a wife at the crib, in that very bed, and he chose to stay the night here. You need to get rid of that damn book, my guy.
Play fucking
Interesting how the look is starting to resemble that of the real-time look of the film. It's almost as if the two entities are merging.
And now it was coming after me.
If you're out here getting killed by numbers, your mind needs to hit the gym. You need to play some word games. You need to solve some puzzles, play some Scrabble, play chess with one of the old heads around the block. But you need to sharpen your mind if you're getting KO'd by numbers out here.
Suits me fine.
Yeah, now the color grade looks like the one that resembled the one from the book.
The book is his warped literary confession.
Agatha said,
I mean, I gotta say, piecing that part together, I mean, stitching it with historical context does make it a lot more viable. Doesn't warrant the craziness, but we'll see. We'll see about that.
Coincidence?
I don't know. But I know who can tell me.
The guy himself. Let's go to prison, baby.
He's not sad. He's angry. That's the last time you ever see him.
Man, that sounds all great and all, but you need to tell me about this damn book.
All because his name doesn't add up to 23?
The real killer, the author, he's still out there. I have to find him.
Oh, so now you're going after an actual killer that hasn't been caught then. You ever thought about the prospect of you potentially being killed? You know, that question right there, how do you know? Reminds me of that horror film that we watched, Session 9. Great film. Great. Phenomenal film.
Be a man.
You know, the idea that anyone at any moment can just get into these tendencies.
Game's over, Top Secrets.
You guys are just confronting a killer, man. Potential killer? You should be doing this!
I think you know.
We gotta get an ambulance!
Whoa! What are those box cutters? How did he get that?
Institute. Go there. You'll see.
Man, you could have just said this all before slicing your own jugular, man. Now look at you. Oh, now you're going on side missions, huh? Everybody's trying to be a main character, huh? Okay.
Who's Casanova's spark?
It's not a person.
I warn you, hell is waiting, Sparrow Man.
We need to go.
I love how this man is just bringing his son, which I guess is I mean, sure, right? I mean, the last thing you want to do is leave this kid alone, but like, I don't know. I'm not for bringing him on this crazy adventure as well. This is how I feel sometimes about you guys that do the whole angel numbers, like a little too much. Like for those of you who are kind of a little weird about it, this is how I think about y'all.
Are you sure you want to do this?
You're my father. Why are you asking me? What do you mean? Are you sure you want to do this, Dad?
There's no curse. There's no killer running around out there.
You're right. The killer was the dog. The killer was the dog the entire time. He just fools it. Oh. Oh yeah, we're about to kill this dog. Let's do it.
Dad!
I kind of wish he did it. I kind of wish he did it. There were like, man, all the parts that they could have gone would ironically make this film a little bit above what it is right now. Well, there's that. She just took that thing off and was like, yep, there it is. There he goes again. He's always... Dude, you could just have a more graceful approach to this, man.
He didn't leave a note. Just a number. That number falls.
So that person that he went and found in the bed was actually his mama.
Laura told
Polka Dot Lady.
I thought she would help me forget my
Father blew his brains out because he was like, damn, I lost a baddie. So essentially, yeah. I mean, he basically...
That fucking number.
You know, that number was like a sleeper agent. You know what I'm saying? It like... It woke him up in the worst way possible.
I've never loved you. Ever.
Well... What? Why would you ever do that? Why would you... Why would you ever do that? That is so, like... You should just get locked up just because you did that. Shit, you're stupid.
23, 10. Fuck it.
I can see it. It's everywhere.
Everywhere.
This man is violent, bro. He is just... He loves beating the shit out of things, doesn't he? It's a cool little scene. Just wrapping this camera around and showing the passage of time. Him losing his damn marbles over a number.
Sin.
We're all broken, Walter. Remember, you told me your life started when you met me.
I mean, he has a point, though. There is an innocent person rotting away in prison. For what, 13 years now?
You think you're a killer? Here, and take this. You go ahead and do it. If you're a killer, then kill me. Look around at all the beautiful 23.
If you ever find yourself in this situation, I hope to God you don't. Don't ever be like this person. Do not entice a previous killer to kill you. The dog is like, do it. You know what you must do. Bro, was that bus really just not gonna slow down? Was that bus? The bus was really not going to slow down. I think the killer is probably the person behind driving that bus. That was crazy. So what about the teacher? How is he involved with all of this? Like, how?
I needed to put it right. And not just for my sake.
That man spent 13 years in prison for something he literally, quite literally, did not do. This damn dog. This dog. Every time I see the dog, I think of Stanley from The Office.
My lawyer says the judge will look kindly upon me for turning myself in. Maybe it's not the happiest of endings, but it's the right one.
I agree. Yeah, 100%. Be sure your sin will find you out. All right, guys, and that is the end to number 23. All right, guys, and that is the number 23. Lots to say about this film. I like the premise of it. I really do. This is something that we aren't, new to when it comes to this premise, because we've watched. I'm trying to think. Let me look it up right now. Damn it, because I'm gonna get mad for me not trying to figure out what it is. In the Mouth of Madness. I definitely think that's a great film, especially for the premise that we're talking about. But In the Mouth of Madness is something that is the first thing that comes to mind when we're watching the number 23. Now, I really, really enjoyed quite a few things within this film. I mean, again, it's nice to see Jim Carrey in a different role that, goes a little bit outside of the norm of what he's known for. That's always going to be a pleasure to watch, just in general, because I think that's great for him and just for people watching. I really also like the creative avenues they took when it came to flashbacking, some of the stories, the creative liberties that they decided to take, the stylistic choice. I thought that was really cool. Some of the things that I really want to get into, though, it's just some of the risks that they could have taken, that they should have took. There are several moments, and I made sure to, leave them in the actual reaction, where I kind of wish they just went through with it. Like, for example, if, he did actually kill his wife, right? Or he did actually run over the dog. I feel like these would have been moments that would have really been like, damn, that's crazy. And I think this is a film that kind of needed stuff like that to happen. Not to say where we ended up could have been, thematically different. But I think for the story's sake, it could have been a nice little spark to keep that momentum going, because, we're following this character. He's trying to figure out who he is on some what was that Christopher Nolan film when, his memories all messed up. The cool thing about that is that we get to feel the momentum within the character. When the character is, trying to stumble throughout the story and is falling forward and faster, the pacing of it reflects that. And I feel like the pacing was kind of stuck. It was binded by the lack of risk that were taken by the story. And that's a shame, because there's several beats here that I wish that they took that I think would have really intensified that momentum. And we could have still probably ended up in the same place and the same point that we arrived to at the end of this film regardless. So that's something that I would have personally enjoyed, because it just was a little too safe. It was a little too safe, maybe a little too psychological. We're dealing with someone that is not only a previous murderer, but is dealing with the fact that they can't remember their previous life, and has now written a book, and it's like following the steps and putting the pieces back in reverse, going forward within time. Again, that's a concept that, we've seen plenty of times, but I think where it was done better in other films is that we get to feel that momentum. We get to feel that pace. When things get crazy, we feel that they get crazy. We don't get fake outs or psych moments or, oh, it was just a dream moment. No, we want moments where it's like, okay, cool, consequences of our actions. We're moving forward. We're throwing into this. we're gonna get to the end of this chapter. We're gonna find this, resolve these answers regardless. So here we are. But I feel like this film was just a little too safe, a little too psychological. But I'm curious to hear your thoughts as well too. It's not like a bad film or anything. I just wish that they took more liberties and more risk, because I feel like the script really does allow for that to happen. I feel like the script really was begging for some more twists and turns, but unfortunately it was a little restricted. However, other than that, I really had a pretty solid time. You know, some a little dumb moments, but you know, it's nothing crazy. You know what I'm saying? It's nothing crazy. Guys, before I leave you off to this, buy everything. Please listen to this. If you walk and find yourself stumbling into a crime scene that you know you did not commit, don't touch anything. How about you don't touch the murder weapon, actually. Guys, just don't do that. But other than that, this was a pretty fun watch. I'm curious to hear your thoughts on it. Do you agree with what I have to say? Do you don't? Let me know in the comment section below. As always, I appreciate y'all. We're going to be hopping into Ben Stiller films and whether he's in them or directed. So be on the lookout for that. I might watch like Night at the Museum, and then we can get to more films. But as always, I appreciate y'all. Stay healthy and stay hydrated, because we are just getting started.
Purple jacket, pocket full of weed. Everything that I should ever need. Grab some matches cause they give them free. Just like my time. Hair pulled back in the backseat.